Guys, what is up? Welcome to another episode of Maximilian Must Know. This is going to be a little bit of talk about Luca Turin and his new book. I'll link to the book in the description. I'm sure most of you, if you're really in the fragrance community, you've heard of this. You've heard of this book. Basically it's called Perfumes, the Guide. I believe it's technically Luca Turin's third book about perfumes. If you're really a fan of him, he did the Guide 1, the Guide 2, and then there was a folio in there. I believe only published, I think, on Amazon. I could be wrong about that, and it's just a great piece. Perfume reviews and essays, basically, in it. And so I decided, do I want to review his new book? And, I didn't really want to do that, so I just want to give you 10 things I think. 10 things I think about Luca Turin. And again, I am a fan. And I will tell you that if you love fragrances, these are fantastic books. And the reason why you see Pour the Caron in front of you today, this is my scent of the day. After the second book came out, I created a spreadsheet filled with every 4 or 5-star fragrance that's in Luca Turin's books, as well as everything that I haven't tried in the Base Notes Best 500 Modern Fragrances list that I can get. There's some things that I just know there's no way I'm going to be able to try. So it's really like a list of fragrances I can get my hands on. What I'm doing is every day I'm going through a fragrance. I'm wearing a fragrance that's listed. Some of them I own, some I'm going to have to acquire. I own this one. This was a 5-star fragrance from Luca Turin in the first book. And I'm wearing it. I'm writing notes down on it. I'm like, why I think it's appealing to people, whoever, and what materials I might think, I believe might be used in it. Because as a perfumer, that's sort of an interesting exercise to go through. So this is my scent of the day, and it's because it's on my spreadsheet. This, as I said, this is a 5-star fragrance, and I'm, as I said, trying to go through one each day. Once I run out through the ones that I have, I'll probably go through one a week, but that's sort of when I'm smelling my way through everything on the list, and who knows if I'll ever finish. So 10 thoughts on Luca Turin. First, when I'm trying to become a perfumer, when I'm ready, I would love for him to evaluate my work. That's part one. I'm hoping he'll still be doing what he's doing. I understand the consequences, but to me, it's like when, you make your first batch of cookies as a kid, and your mother's like, "Oh, honey, they're great." That's what most people that and even some reviewers that you're friends with, I would imagine, would tell you about your scent, your work. But Luca Turin's gonna be the guy being like, "What the fuck do you put in these cookies? Did you use salt instead of sugar?" So I think it means a lot coming from him. Second thought, it would mean a lot coming, for me at least. Second thought, I do think he plays favorites. That's just an opinion through both books. I could be wrong about this. Clearly, he loves Khalees Becker. He loves Liz Moore, Chris Logmeal, and it feels like he had something. Rest in peace to Mona de Oreo, Miguel Matos, perhaps, or Sven, who has SP Parfums. I think that when I read other SP Parfum reviews that were on Luca's website, they were pretty favorable. He also had a blog for a while, and the book is just torn to shreds. I know it's a specific collection with Miguel Matos, and I believe Tanya Sanchez reviewed all the fragrances, but it seemed to me it seemed weird. So I do think if he likes you, and if he has something against you, it seems like there are favorites there. It could just be that he likes these people's work. I don't know. I think some Mona Oreo fragrances are really, really good. I believe he also really favors the woman who owns Ormond Jane. But again, I could be wrong on this. Third, I really wish he had reviewed Maxed Out. He reviewed a bunch of fragrances from Sarah McCartney, who has 4,160 Tuesdays. And some were okay. I don't think there was a really, really good one. I believe, if I was her, I'd be satisfied but wouldn't feel great about my work. But again, on that website, there were some, it seemed that he really, really enjoyed from her. And I think Maxed Out might have been one of them, although he didn't review it. And I just wish I could, hear his take on it, because I put so much of myself into it. Obviously, I wasn't a perfumer, but what he thought of the concept, if he thought it was executed well. Anyway, that's 3. 4, guys. Not all opinions are equal. I've seen a lot of shit about this, that it's like if you like a scent and he doesn't, it doesn't mean that it's bad. And that's true. You should absolutely wear what you like, but not all opinions are equal. It's why we liked watching Siskel and Ebert. Why I read Walt Mossberg's tech reviews. Why we all went to the television to watch Anthony Bourdain talk about food, and we wouldn't watch you talking about food. Luca Turin has smelled literally thousands upon thousands of scents. He's a biophysicist. He frequently does GCMS analysis, and he cares about fragrance. His opinion, and the guy who just got Aventus and owns 2 other fragrances, Sauvage Bleu de Chanel, and he's reviewing on YouTube. I don't care what you tell me, their opinions, at least to me, are not equal. If you really believe they are, I appreciate your affinity for the individual human spirit, but let's be realistic. He has a valued opinion more than the normal person who smells a fragrance. So that's 4. 5, he's a brilliant writer. He has an amazing way with words, using science, history, pop culture, and product history to write really witty, enjoyable reviews. 6th thing, I do wish a lot of his reviews were longer. When he doesn't like a fragrance, when he eviscerates it, it's a 1-star. A lot of people have this complaint that, it should be longer. He should tell you why he really dislikes it. The problem is it would probably be a 5,000-page book at that point. So I get he does need to be terse, but sometimes I really would like to hear, why he dislikes a fragrance. 7th, on harshness, yes, some of his reviews can be quite harsh, but if you read the first book, you had to know what you were in for. It seems like everyone's very surprised by this. And if you submit your work to Luca Turin, you have to be ready to eat whatever shit is served up for you. It doesn't mean if you're a perfumer, you should quit, right? Or he's right. It just means that someone with a lot of knowledge and experience doesn't like the fragrance you like or the fragrance you created. Not the end of the world. He's given some of the most popular fragrances in the world very low scores. So, popularity and his opinion necessarily don't go hand in hand. 8, sometimes I wonder if we're even smelling the same thing. He'll talk about a scent, and I'll be like, I don't think that's the main. It'll be like, oh, this is a da-da-da theme fragrance with, X. And I'll just be like, I don't get that or X. But again, to each their own. 9, literally read the book one day in my office. Hope I'm not going to get fired for saying this. Downloaded it the morning. Went into my office, closed the door. Pretended I was doing shit and probably finished it in 3 maybe hours. I don't know. I kind of scanned it the first time. And then I think later in the day I filled it out and read through everything. And then a week or so later I started to create this spreadsheet. Went through the first book, the folio book, the base notes 500 list, and created this spreadsheet that I believe has 700-800 fragrances on it. And I really want to learn why Luca either likes them or why so many people in the community like them. So it's sort of my task now. And the 10th thing I think is, man, I really hope there's another book. I know, Luca's not in his 20s or 30s, but he seems like he's a very sound everything, and he's certainly not an old man. And I would really like to see, in 5 years, how fragrance change, how he sees that landscape. I really do believe. And I know that he's watched some of these videos, and there was some back and forth with a commenter who is a little bit out of hand. But anyway, this, isn't to hope he watches this and, hope he favors me. But I really believe he's an important person in the, in the fragrance world, and he's an ambassador to perfume. So I hope he goes nowhere. I hope he keeps doing this. I hope he keeps writing reviews. If I, finally finish my fragrance, send it to him, and I get a 1-star, this smells like Scandinavian bum asshole, then maybe I'll, change my my tune. But for now, I really, I really would like one day to be evaluated by him. It's just a goal I have. I don't think there's anything wrong with what he does. I think he's got a very strong opinion that, most of the time is probably on point. And I think you should buy the book. If you love fragrance, you have to have the first and second book. You have to read through every review, and you have to, you will definitely, at the very least, find a bunch of fragrances you want to try. And I think that's great, that this is so accessible and it has so much real knowledge in it. So that's my opinion. I know a bunch of you aren't going to agree with it. I understand that, but it's it's my thoughts on this book and Luca Turin. So hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of the book. Did you read it? Am I out of my mind? Do you like it? What do you think of Luca Turin as a reviewer as well? So leave a comment. I will see you later this week with more videos. My name is
Being with you is so dysfunctional.